How's it going, everybody? This video was filmed exclusively live on odds.com. The Diehard MMA podcast can be seen. The full replay. We talk about UFC Vegas 16 from top to bottom with my special guest, Dan Levi, over on odds.com. Click the link below to check it out. Light heavyweight coming up next here. Another Georgian fighter, Roman Dolidze. I'm sure I'm butchering that name, taking on John Allan. This is going to be a hell of a fun fight, man. Roman is 7-0, undefeated, coming off the first round knockout win over the worst UFC fighter on the roster that I could not get enough of fading. I'm going to miss that kid, man. I hope they bring him back. John Allan, 13-5, coming off of a long layoff. He actually popped for performance-enhancing drugs, something that basically masks the side effects of steroid usage. And Roman has popped by USADA himself. So we got a couple of guys in here that have questionable drug testing records going at it. Roman, just physical monster, man. This guy is incredibly explosive, but he's got an underrated ground game. His striking is so vicious. A lot of people don't know he's a BJJ black belt and ADCC champion. And one of my favorite things that he does is these hard ass leg kicks that he throws. Those things are just brutal. And you mentioned the baseball bat in the last fight. That's what it sounds like when this guy whips a leg kick out there. Now, John, he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt himself. This will be his first fight since quarantine, 2020. That's always a question mark for these guys. He had a fight lined up with Ed Short-Fuse Herman in September, but he withdrew. I actually don't know the reason why he withdrew, but kicking the can down the road here a little bit. He mixes in takedowns really well. He's got a strong body lock. He's good in the clinch, and he's one of these big boys that reminds me like of Frank Mir back in the day. Just a big, intelligent jiu-jitsu game, good off of his back, stays safe, uses elbows. He had his last win overturned against Mike Slow Rodriguez for performance-enhancing drugs, and man, Mike Rodriguez is not a guy that I'm impressed with in the UFC. So going a full 15 minutes with that dude, I can't say I'm overly impressed by that, but I also don't know how I feel about Roman being this type of a favorite. I mean, I know it's not that bad. He's minus 165, minus 175, kind of in that ballpark right now. Second UFC fight over a guy we haven't seen in quite some time. I'll be honest, man. I do a podcast here. It's supposed to be for fun, shits and giggles. And even though I am trying to make some money betting here, I do a couple things for fun, and I thought about doing a Georgian parlay here. I thought about throwing our boy Ilya together here with Roman and get a little plus money on that, and throw up the Georgian flag on it and just have a little bit of fun and see how it goes. Talk to me about this fight. What do you feel on this one?
You say you think the line might be a little wide. I actually think it might be a little short. I think that Dolidze is going to come out here and tear this guy a new one, because, I mean, look, you mentioned how Dolidze fought the worst guy on the roster. You're referring to Kadisi Bragimov, and this is true. I can't debate that, but let's examine how he handled him. I mean, he went out there, knocked that guy out in the first round without a care in the world, because when you look at Kadis's other fights, I mean, Dawoon Jung had to weather a serious storm. That dude, Danilo Marcus, that was a back and forth fight. What was the other? I know he lost 4 fights. What was the other fight that Kadisi Bragimov lost? I don't remember at the moment. But the bottom line is that Roman Dolidze absolutely ran through him like it was no one's business. There was no back and forth. There was no give or take. It was just one-sided traffic. And the interesting thing about this kid Dolidze is that obviously most of his wins are by knockout. So you question how his ground game is. And then, like you said, actually, he's an ADCC grappling world champion. To take it a step further, he competed against Nikita Krylov in a grappling match, actually submitted him in a minute with a heel hook. You know what I mean? So this guy Dolidze, he's good on the mat. Here's my big question, Clint. How's his takedown defense? Because no one's got the balls to shoot on him up until this point, right? So I don't know how his takedown defense is. And the reason I asked that question is because you saw that Dolidze actually won his first 2 fights by heel hook. You know that he submitted Nikita Krylov with a heel hook in that grappling tournament. You know that this guy loves his leg locks. Is this a situation where if John Allan comes out here and tries to take down Dolidze, that Dolidze is just going to accept the takedown and then try to work off his back? Because then I'd be really worried if I was laying the chalk on Dolidze. Or is it a situation where this guy can't even sniff a takedown? Okay, good call, Z. He said Ed Herman was the other guy. Look, Ed Herman, that first round was kind of sketchy, but then Ed Herman kind of showed his veteran savvy. There was nothing sketchy about when Dolidze fought Cadiz. He absolutely ran through him. But
dude, he didn't know where he was. There's that shot of him on his knees, like looking back over, man, what the fuck was that?
I feel like a dick for making fun of him for that. But look, this is my only concern with this spot. If Allan, because I know Allan's going to get pieced up standing here. Look, Allan, he's a Brazilian banger. I mean, he's got hard leg kicks. He's got that shoot to box style. I mean, if you're not quite on the level, and I say if you're not quite on the level, and this is a guy that lost to Mamouche, Vinicius Moreira, so he'll lose the guys that aren't on the level too. But what I'm trying to say is, if you're pulling a stunt like Mike Rodriguez did that night, John Allan can go out there and beat you. But back to my big concern in this fight. If Allan tries to take down Dolidze, is Dolidze just going to accept bottom position? Like, let him take you down, no big deal, because I'm so confident in my jiu-jitsu that I'm going to come out here and, try to attack for leg locks, do the whole bit? Or is he going to stuff that takedown, make this guy pay, and just beat him up for the duration of the fight? So I spoke to one of Dolidze's coaches, because I'm not sure if you know, but he's actually doing this camp in Vegas here at Extreme Couture. With my boy Eric Nixick, who, by the way, Eric Nixick got Ankaleev ready for that rematch against Kutalaba. You saw how he looked in that rematch against Kutalaba. There was no controversy in that rematch. So he's got the same guy here getting him ready, getting Dolidze ready for this fight against John Allan. And the question about the PED stuff, well, the PED question has been answered for me on Dolidze's end, because Dolidze came in there his UFC debut after the PED stuff. He ran through his opponent, looked exactly the same as he did on the regional scene. So to me, maybe it was, contaminated supplement, whatever the case may be. Whereas Allan, I'm not so sure about Allan. We ain't seen Allan back since. We haven't heard from him since. I think Allan might be coming out here with some Eric Silva love handles. So I'm going to go with Roman Dolidze to knock this guy out in the first round.
All right, man. I like it. I love that breakdown. I love the insider information. Thank you for sharing those little gems with us. That's some good stuff. Maybe I go ahead and lock in that Georgian parlay. That sounds like it might be a fun little thing for the show. I think that I took a look at it right before we jumped on it. It'd be about plus 130 for these guys. Not exactly the most positive EV bet, but it might be a little fun one. And I know my boy DFS by the numbers. I haven't seen him in the chat yet tonight, but Brady, he gave a speech about these Georgians, man. He was saying you can't bet on people just because they're from Georgia. That's not how it works. I'm going to tag him in the Georgian parlay, let him know we're backing him.
Yeah, I mean, look, this isn't a Liana Jojua we're betting on here. Like, we're betting on, or we're potentially hypothetically talking about betting on Topuria and Dolidze. Like, these guys win fights, so it's a different story. And real quick, absolutely. Is Merab on this card or not? Because I know Clint saw the graphic last week where they said Merab was the featured bout versus the undefeated TBA. So you think it's going to happen or not?
Man, I don't think so. At this point, I think we lost it. And can we just absolutely rip on the Nevada State Athletic Commission for robbing us of Merab Dwashvili versus Hani Barcelos? Like, what is wrong with those people? That was such a damn good fight. I'm pissed off.
Yeah, they got me so pissed off that I don't even know what to say. I mean, look, I know that John Morgan, MMA Junkies John Morgan, he came out with a tweet saying, actually, Hayoni was still on medical suspension, but no one ever confirmed that. So it's basically Merab's word over John Morgan's word. John Morgan, I'm a fan, but I'm going to believe Merab just because I want to play into my own narrative that, these same guys with these ridiculous scorecards, with these ridiculous judges, probably have ridiculous judgment making in not letting Hayoni take a fight with Merab. So yeah, we're both pissed off about that.
Yeah, I'm about done with the Nevada State Athletic Commission, man.
Hey, Fight Island's got to be the new the capital now. You know what I mean?
We just got to make it official, man. Come on, Uncle Dana, let's do it. We'll still buy the pay-per-views, I promise.
Yes.